Everything you have been told about this place is wrong. There are no whips here. There are no enslaved masses groaning under the lash. That is a story invented thousands of years after you are dead, by people who never stood where you are standing. The truth is stranger, and in its way harder to believe. You are a free Egyptian. You are fed, you are housed, you are given beer, and you have chosen to be here, hauling stone in the sun, because building this is the single greatest thing your short life will ever touch. Let me show you your day. You did not always do this. For most of the year you are a farmer, like nearly everyone in Egypt. But once a year the Nile rises and floods the fields, and for those months there is no farming to be done. The water does the work. And a country that suddenly has tens of thousands of idle, well-fed men has a choice about what to do with them. So you are called up, rotated in, gang by gang, region by region, to serve your king and your gods on the plateau. This is not a punishment. For many of you it is closer to an honor and a meal ticket, and the only chance a farmer will ever get to be part of something that will outlast the sun. You go. You do not sleep at the base of the pyramid. You live in a town built to house you. Rows of barracks, bakeries running day and night, breweries, storerooms, workshops. A whole city exists for one purpose, to keep the builders fed, watered, and working. Thousands live here. It has its own rhythm, its own bosses, its own gossip. The scale of the food alone would stagger you if you stopped to think about it. Herds of cattle, sheep, and goats driven in from across the country and slaughtered by the hundred. Grain hauled in by the boatload. Bread and beer produced in quantities a village farmer could not imagine. The state that is building this pyramid understood a simple truth long before anyone wrote it down. You cannot move mountains with hungry men. You wake before the sun with the rest of your gang. You sleep among them. You eat among them. You work among them. And you compete with them. Because the labor here is organized into crews, and the crews have names, and the names are a matter of pride. Your gang has a name like Friends of Khufu or Drunkards of Menkaure, painted right onto the stones you move. You are in competition with the gang beside you and the gang beside them. Who hauls more? Who is faster? Who is stronger? The overseers know exactly what they are doing. A man will break his back for a wage, but he will break it twice as hard to beat the men in the next barracks. Breakfast is bread and beer, not beer the way you might picture it. This is thick, soupy, barely alcoholic, closer to a liquid loaf, and it is food, not indulgence. It fills your stomach, it is safer than a lot of the water, and it will be part of your wages as much as your meal. You eat fast. The stone is waiting. Most of the stone comes from right here, quarried from the plateau itself. You and your crew work the rock with copper chisels and wooden mallets and stone pounders, cutting channels around a block, then splitting it free. It is slow, deliberate, brutal work, and it is skilled. You are not just muscle. You know this stone. You know how it wants to break, and then you have to move it. A single block can weigh more than the whole gang of you put together. There is no magic here, and there is no alien machinery, whatever anyone will one day try to tell you. There is rope, there is timber, there is water, and there is the coordinated strength of a lot of men who have done this 1,000 times. You lash the block to a wooden sledge. Ropes run from the sledge to the gang, and you take your place on the line. And here is one of the cleverest tricks in the whole operation, so simple it is almost disappointing. A man walks ahead of the sledge and pours water onto the sand in front of the runners. Wet sand is firm sand. Damp the ground just right, and the sledge glides where dry sand would pile up and drag. It cuts the effort roughly in half. Nobody handed your ancestors a book of physics. They figured this out by doing it, by failing, by watching, over generations, until moving the impossible became just another Tuesday. You haul in rhythm. Someone keeps time, a chant, a clap, a call and answer, and every man pulls on the same beat, because 100 men pulling at random accomplish nothing, and 100 men pulling as one move a mountain a hand's width at a time. And a hand's width at a time, across years, is exactly how a mountain gets built. You are being paid in bread and beer to build the one thing that outlasts every empire that comes after it. Subscribe, and you will outlast the algorithm too, which is honestly the harder feat. The higher the pyramid rises, the harder your job becomes, because now you are not just moving the block across the plateau, you are dragging it up. Ramps of rubble and brick climb the sides of the structure, and up them go the sledges. Gang after gang, block after block, into the sky. There is no railing up here. There is no rope around your waist. There is the ramp, the drop, and your own footing. A slip does not send you home injured. It sends you off the edge. Men fall. It is understood. It is grieved. And then the next block comes up the ramp, because the block does not stop for grief. But here is where your world surprises the people who imagine this place as a death camp. When you are hurt, someone treats you. We know this because your bones tell the story, thousands of years later. Healed fractures, set breaks, even the marks of successful operations. Men who were badly injured and then lived for years, cared for, fed, kept alive. You are not disposable, you are expensive. It takes food and training and time to make a skilled hauler, and a boss who lets his men die needlessly is a boss who cannot finish his section. So you are patched up, splinted, dosed with what medicine your world has and given time to mend. Not out of pure kindness, out of the plain logic that a living builder is worth more than a dead one, though it is a kindness all the same, and you are grateful for it. At the height of the day you eat again, and you eat well by the standards of your life. Bread, and more bread, in staggering amounts. Onions and garlic, dried fish from the river, sometimes meat, when a festival or a good stretch of work earns it. And beer, always the beer, jar after jar of the thick, nourishing stuff. Back home, in a lean season, you might go without. Here, you do not. Whatever else this work costs you, and it costs you plenty, it does not let you starve. For a farmer who has known the hungry months, that alone is a reason to keep coming back when the flood rises again next year. And now, in the afternoon, sweat-blind and aching, you look up at the thing you are making. Try to understand what it is to you, because it is not what it is to a tourist thousands of years from now. This is not a tomb the way a hole in the ground is a tomb. This is a machine for turning a dead king into a living god. A stairway, a ramp, a launch point for the pharaoh's soul into the sky to join the sun itself. And if your god king reaches the heavens, then the whole order of the world holds. The Nile floods, the grain grows, Egypt endures. You are not stacking rocks, you are holding up the sky. You will be dead and forgotten in a few decades. Your name will vanish, but your hands are on this stone, and this stone is not going anywhere. Long after everyone who ever knew you is dust, this will still be standing in the sun. Almost nobody who has ever lived gets to touch something that permanent. You do, every single day. The light drops and the work stops, because you cannot cut and haul stone in the dark, and even the overseers know that exhausted men make dangerous mistakes. You walk back down to the village with your gang, joints screaming, hands raw, the day's chant still knocking around in your head. You eat one more time. You lie down among the same men you hauled beside all day. Someone is already snoring. Tomorrow it starts again in the dark, and the day after that, until the flood recedes and you go home to your fields. And the next gang rotates in to take your place on the rope. When it is finished, it will be sheathed in smooth white casing stone, polished until it blazes in the desert light like something dropped from the heavens. It will be the tallest thing built by human hands for nearly 4,000 years. 4,000 years. Whole civilizations will rise and fall in the time it stands unmatched. And in the far future, people will stand at its base and refuse to believe that ordinary men built it. They will invent gods and aliens and lost technologies, anything rather than accept the simpler and far more astonishing truth, that it was built by farmers, fed on bread and beer, working in named gangs, pouring water on sand, hauling in rhythm, free men doing the impossible, one wet sand hand's width at a time. That was you, not a slave, not a legend, a man with a name no one will remember, whose hands are still holding up the sky. That is where we leave you. If you survived the video, you are already doing better than the person you just played, so do the small thing. Like it, subscribe, and I will drop you into another life next time. Same voice, same stick figures, someone else's very bad day.